They left. They walked away. They chose someone else. They underestimated you. They disrespected you. They made you feel replaceable. And it broke something inside you, didn't it? You wanted to scream. You wanted to explain. You wanted to make them see what they lost. You wanted to prove your worth. You wanted them to feel the pain they caused you. But here's the brutal truth they don't tell you. The moment you try to make someone regret losing you with words, you've already lost. Because words are what weak people use when they can't prove it with reality. Words are what desperate people use when they need validation. Words are what replaceable people use because they have nothing else. Most people spend years trying to convince their ex they made a mistake, trying to prove to their old boss they were valuable, trying to show their former friends what they're missing. They post on social media, they send paragraphs, they accidentally show up places, they perform success, they manufacture happiness, they scream into the void hoping the person who left will hear it and come back. And you know what happens? Nothing. Worse than nothing. They look pathetic. They confirm the other person's decision to leave. They give away their power while begging for crumbs of acknowledgement. Marcus Aurelius understood this. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Not to talk about it, not to perform it, to become it. But the rare few, the ones who actually make people regret, they go silent, completely silent. They disappear from the narrative. They stop explaining, defending, posting, proving. They channel every ounce of pain into transformation, and they return as someone unrecognizable, someone untouchable, someone who makes their absence feel like a punishment. In this video, I'm going to give you 15 ruthless strategies for making someone regret losing you without saying a single word. The dark psychology of transformation that makes your silence louder than any speech ever could. I'll show you why trying to prove yourself makes them respect you less, how to weaponize your absence so effectively they can't stop thinking about you, the specific timeline for revenge that actually works, and the psychological mechanism that makes people realize what they lost only after it's too late to get it back. This isn't about getting them back. This is about making sure they never forget what they gave up. Drop "they'll see what they lost" in the comments right now. Not for them, for you. To mark the moment you stopped explaining and started evolving. Let's begin. Number 1. Total silence is the only power move. Here's what your ego wants you to do. Respond, defend yourself, explain your side. Make sure they know they're wrong about you. Post something that shows them you're fine. Send that closure message. React. That's what weak people do, and it never works. Because the moment you engage, you reveal you still care. The moment you respond, you give them power. The moment you explain, you become small. Most people can't handle silence. They need the last word. They need to be understood. They need the other person to know the truth. That need is a leash, and the person who left is holding it. Sun Tzu wrote, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." Your silence in the face of their departure creates chaos in their mind. They expect you to chase. Everyone chases. When you don't, it breaks their pattern. It creates a void, and humans hate voids. They fill them with thoughts. Why isn't he responding? Why doesn't she seem bothered? Did I not matter? What is he doing? Who is she with? Your silence forces them to write the story, and they'll always write it worse than reality. Here's the practice. The moment they're gone, you go ghost. No explanation texts, no "I hope you're well" messages, no lurking on their social media, no mutual friend updates. Complete communication blackout. Block if necessary. Not out of anger, out of strategy. The psychological mechanism is scarcity. When you're accessible, you're common. When you're gone, you become valuable. When you're silent, you become mysterious. Mystery creates obsession. Obsession creates regret. People will tell you to get closure. Ignore them. Closure is a myth sold to weak people who can't handle uncertainty. Your silence is the closure, and it will haunt them more than any words ever could. Drop "My silence is my power" in the comments. Number 2. The transformation must be real, not performed. Here's where most people fail. They fake the transformation. They post gym selfies after 2 workouts. They flex rental cars. They perform happiness. They manufacture success. And everyone can tell it's fake, including the person they're trying to make regret. Fake transformation confirms you're still affected. Fake success proves you're still seeking their validation. Fake happiness shows you're still miserable. And all of it makes them feel good about their decision to leave. Real revenge isn't a performance, it's a metamorphosis. Most people aren't willing to actually change. They want the appearance of change without the pain of change. They want the results without the discipline. They want to be seen winning without doing the work to win. That's why they stay stuck while the person who left moves on. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your why isn't to show them anything. Your why is to become someone who wouldn't choose them even if they came back. That's real transformation. Here's what real looks like. You take the pain and channel it into discipline. You actually go to the gym 6 days a week for 6 months, not for photos, but for the physical and mental transformation. You actually build the business you always talked about, not for flex posts, but for financial freedom. You actually read the books, develop the skills, upgrade the mindset, improve the appearance, not to show them, to become someone they couldn't have kept even if they tried. The mechanism is authenticity. Fake transformation is invisible. Real transformation is undeniable. When you're genuinely better, it radiates. People feel it, people see it, and the person who left, they'll hear about it. Through mutual friends, through social proof, through the void where you used to be. And they'll know it's real because you're not shouting about it. You're just being it. Number 3. Upgrade everything they'll never have access to again. Here's the revenge they never see coming. You become the version of yourself they always wanted after they're gone. They wanted you more ambitious. You become ruthlessly ambitious. They wanted you more fit. You get in the best shape of your life. They wanted you more confident. You develop unshakable self-belief. They wanted you more successful. You build the empire. But here's the twist. You become all of this when they no longer have access to it. Most people do this backwards. They improve to get the person back. Wrong. You improve to make sure they see what they'll never have again. There's a dark satisfaction in becoming exactly what someone wanted after they've already left, because it proves a painful truth. The potential was always there. They just didn't have the patience, vision, or worthiness to see it through. Oscar Wilde understood this. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Except this. Become what they wanted, then become unavailable. That's the forgiveness that feels like fire. Here's the strategy. Make a list of everything they criticized or wanted you to change, not to prove them right, to weaponize their complaints. Every criticism becomes a target. Every "you should" becomes fuel. Then you upgrade systematically. They said you lacked ambition, you build a business. They said you were out of shape, you transform your body. They said you were too available, you become strategically scarce with everyone. The psychological mechanism is regret through proximity. They'll see the finished product. They'll know they had access to the raw material. They'll realize they quit during the construction phase, and they'll understand they'll never get back in. People always want what they can't have. You're about to become what they can't have, in the exact form they always said they wanted. Number 4, erase them from your story completely. Most people keep their ex, their former friend, their old boss in the story. They talk about what happened. They explain the breakup to new people. They reference the betrayal. They keep the wound visible. That's weak. It says, this person still has real estate in my mind. It says, I'm still defined by what they did. It says, my story includes them as a significant chapter. Wrong. Real power is erasure, not blocking with emotion, erasing with indifference. When someone new asks about your past, they don't exist in your story. When friends bring them up, you have nothing to say. When their name comes up, your face doesn't change. They're not your villain. They're not your victim story. They're not your motivation. They're nothing. A footnote you deleted. Robert Greene teaches, the greatest weapon you have is your presence of mind. Keeping them in your story disrupts your presence. They're gone. Treat them like they're gone, completely. Here's the practice. Stop telling the story of what happened. Stop explaining why it ended. Stop making them part of your narrative. If someone asks, give them nothing. That's old history. I'm focused on what I'm building now. That's it. No details, no emotion, no energy. When you stop feeding the story dies, and with it, their relevance dies. The mechanism is narrative control. As long as you're talking about them, they're present. As long as they're present, they have power. When you erase them, they become a ghost, and ghosts can't hurt you. People will notice you never mention them. They'll ask if you're over it. You won't answer, because you're not over something. You're beyond it. There's a difference. Over means you processed it. Beyond means it's irrelevant. So there they are, the first 4 strategies for making someone regret losing you without saying a single word. Total silence is the only power move. The transformation must be real, not performed. Upgrade everything they'll never have access to again, and erase them from your story completely. But we're just getting started, because silence and transformation are just the foundation. What comes next is where the real power lives, the timeline that creates the perfect storm of regret, the strategic moves that make them obsessed with what you're doing, the psychological triggers that make your absence louder than any words could ever be. Tomorrow, I'm dropping part 2, and we're going into the dark psychology of making someone realize what they lost when it's too late to get it back. If you're done explaining yourself, if you're ready to let your silence do the damage, if you're committed to becoming so untouchable that they can't stop thinking about what they gave up, you need to subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because part 2 drops tomorrow. And if you miss it, you'll never learn the timeline, the triggers, and the final moves that complete the transformation. Drop "they'll regret it" in the comments right now. Not for them, for you. To mark this moment when you stopped talking and started evolving. This is Hungry for Success. Part 2 drops tomorrow. Stay silent, stay focused, and start your transformation today. I'll see you tomorrow.